All right, what's up, everyone? Super excited for today's video. We're going to be talking about futures, trading futures, and I think one of the big mistakes or biggest learning curves to have is going to be, when do you actually buy, right? We're not going to focus so much on, taking profit and whether or not you need to be, scalping and taking 1 point profits, 2 point profits, or whether you're targeting 5 points or 10 points. But let's just try and dial in on, when do we know to buy, right? When do we know to perhaps go long in the futures market? Now, I've developed a system and I just want to share that system with you guys. I think it's really nice. What I've done is we've come up with the scripts for some clouds. Okay, we're going to go over the clouds in here, and then we just simply use the VWAP. Okay, the volume weighted average price. I also use the anchored VWAP. All right, which is something that Thinkorswim doesn't have by default, but you can code that as well or script that. And then the opening range. Okay, now I like to use the previous day opening range and the current day opening range. Now the opening range can be different for everyone. Okay, lots of people have different ways that they do it. I like to go by the first 15 minutes of the market. Now you can change this. Okay, if you want the opening range to be the first 30 minutes of the market, maybe even the first hour once the market is open, you can use that. Now, what's really great about trading futures is that you're not limited to trading just standard market hours. Okay, you can actually trade pre-market and post-market. So in today's video, I'm going to break down, why today was such an easy day. Not every day is going to be like this, but once you start to understand some of these things, hopefully it will be, much easier for you in the future. So it's going to be a really good video. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and let's go ahead and get into it. Now, all the things that we go over in today's video, I have all of these scripts and these custom indicators and things like that. They're all available to all of my Discord members. So if you want to get in the Discord and get access to, my swing trade analysis and different things like that, all the different stuff in the Discord, you can join that. There's a link and you'll be able to get all of these scripts right here, right into your Thinkorswim. Now, I like to use Apex, okay? I'm not trading futures on my Thinkorswim, but this is my charting platform. And, funded futures, funded accounts, they're a really big topic right now, okay? And everyone wants to know, what's the secret to pass a funded account? What's the secret to pass a funded account? It's not too hard to pass a funded account, but the rules change specifically for Apex. I'm not too familiar with all the other ones, but once you actually pass it, and you have, a PA account, a performance account, things change, okay? And the rules change and they become a lot more strict. And you need to be a little bit more strict, okay? So today's video is going to go over, what are some buy signals, all right? When is a good time to buy? And, do you need to panic sell, right? Do you need to sell early? Because that's the thing. If you're only taking small wins, okay, and you're let's say you're taking 1 point, 2 point, scalps, and then your losses are 10 points, right? And you're taking 10-point losses. It doesn't matter if you only take one loss or something like that. Apex can deny your payout because your risk reward ratio just isn't very good. If you're risking 1 or 2 points, or your reward, you're only gaining 1 or 2 points, and then your stop loss or your loss factor is 10 points. They're not gonna like that. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is go over, what it is that we're looking at and how to use all of this together. So in general, when you're trading above a VWAP, okay, you are generally looking for more bullish trade ideas. Now we've got the weekly anchored VWAP. Okay, this was a Tuesday trading session. So this dark blue line right here, okay, this is the anchored VWAP anchored to Monday's prices. Okay, so we're trading above the blue anchored VWAP right here throughout the whole entire day. But this is early pre-market, 6 a.m. And we want to know, what are some possibilities? What are some trade ideas? So off the bat, we're going to be looking for some bullish setups here. Now, these green dotted lines right here, these are the previous day's range, okay, the previous day's range. So notice how not only did we find support at the anchored VWAP, okay, the weekly anchored VWAP, but we also found support at the previous day's opening range, and we got a nice bounce. Now, these two trend lines right here form a pattern known as an inverse bump and run pattern. This video is not too much about patterns and chart patterns, but this is one of my favorite chart patterns that I learned about maybe 2-3 years ago, and it's been very, very nice to me. And if the pattern works, it leads to very explosive moves. Now, what I did was I saw this pattern set up, and as soon as we got above the VWAP here, okay, so now this is today's VWAP. The purple line here is today's VWAP, right? The blue line is the anchored VWAP, or the weekly anchored VWAP. So we're above the weekly anchored VWAP. I'm looking for bullish setups. Here we have trading above the VWAP, right? Now, I bought into this not only because of the chart pattern here. If we were to take this chart pattern away, this would still be a valid trade entry using my particular cloud strategy, okay? So the clouds here flip up above the VWAP, okay? This is a buy signal. And then you simply use either the VWAP or the cloud as your stop loss, okay? And you don't have to sell until price starts trading outside of the cloud, meaning the candlesticks are closing below a green cloud, closing below there, and the next candlestick is also trading below that cloud. Then you can go ahead and get out of the trade. Okay, so if you look today, we never had any time where the candles are closing outside of the VWAP, right? Or outside of the clouds. So we get the clouds flip above the VWAP. That's a buy signal. We know that we're already above the previous day opening range. We know we're above the weekly anchored VWAP. Those are bullish signals, and we're looking for bullish trade ideas, and we get our flip, okay? So that is almost a no-brainer whenever you have those conditions. Whenever you're above the previous day's opening range, whenever you are above a weekly VWAP and above the current day's VWAP, that is a very strong indicator that you want to look for some, longs potentially, right? So we get in here, and if you notice, this candle right here, this was the PPI data, okay? Price was all over the place right here. But if you notice, we tagged VWAP, and we held the VWAP, right? And price did not close outside of this candlestick. So, you could have added right here. Going to be very extremely tough to add on a data candle and snag this entry. Wasn't able to get this entry today. But what I did was oftentimes I'll come and I'll look to buy the dip around the clouds, right? So came in here, got one contract, okay? Came in here, got another contract. Now this is down here right around 53.84. Okay, added another contract once we saw that price is holding here at the cloud, added another contract in here. So now we have two contracts. Okay, got a very strong move up. You see price goes up above the clouds. We overextend a little bit. All right, and then we come back down and look at where we tag, guys. This red line right here, this is your opening range low. This is your opening range high. So we had a little bit of an early morning look above and fail above the opening range high, where price, tried to find acceptance up above, but we came back down. We tagged the VWAP, we tagged the opening range low. I always, not always, but a large majority of the time, I'm looking to long the opening range low. So I had an order there for this, all right, because I know if I get into this opening range low, odds are that that's going to be a high risk to reward setup, and you can look to target the opening range high. Now, as I mentioned, we're mostly looking for when do you want to buy, right? That's currently where we haven't really gotten any sell signal throughout this period. Okay, so that's 3 buys now. Now you're long 3 contracts, okay, and you're sitting well in profits, right? The opening range low is at 5401.5. That's almost 20 points higher than the initial entry right here. Now we continue rising. I'm looking at this intraday and starting to notice that this is, potentially some resistance, right? I've got all these profits. I'm literally, this is the psychology of traders, right? Is when things are good, we don't want to let our runners run. We're looking for a reason to sell. We're looking for a reason to panic and to force ourselves out of the position, okay? So even here, naturally, I'm doing that intraday. And I'm like, man, this is too good to be true. I'm killing it right now, killing it. Really great morning. Got up early, got in this trade, before market was, well before market was open, well ahead of the inflation data that was coming out. Felt really good about it. And so yeah, that flaw that we have as humans, right, in our psychology of wanting to hold on to our losers and be hopeful whenever we have a loser and be pessimistic whenever we have a winner. You're not going to be perfect, right? And I fall victim to that as well. And you can see even intraday, I'm drawing a trend line here, trying to find a reason to make myself sell, right? And be like, all right, we're going to keep rejecting here. Eventually it's going to reject and we're going to start trading outside of the clouds and I'm going to have to close this position. I need to be ready for that, right? Well, what we did was we actually broke out above that trend line here, this resistance trend line, and actually went long again once I saw that you basically held this as support, right? So we had a very textbook break and retest. And once I saw this candlestick forming here, I felt very confident in some longs. Now we did have a bear trap right here, okay? This is why it's so important to, wait for the close. Some people don't wait for the close. I like to wait for candlesticks to close. We had a bear trap. This is about a 10-point candle right here, okay? That went down below our initial entry, that we got in on our latest entry. But look at what happened, right? Price got eaten back up, okay? Bears got squeezed here, and people who got short here, short here, short here, ended up getting squeezed out, and we continued to push higher throughout the rest of the day. And as you noticed, we did wick down below the clouds sometimes. Okay, we wick down below the clouds sometimes, but we continue to hold it. We continue to hold it, and we really did that into the close. And as you can see, we pretty much just every candle was closing above the clouds for the whole entire day. Now, again, if you're using a funded account or there can be different rules for Apex. You can't swing. So by the end of the day, it just closes your order automatically. And if you take a look at this, right, and you were to get in here right around that initial entry, okay, and even if you just got one contract and held that one contract, you got in right around 53.85, 53.81, something like that. Look at where we closed. We ended up closing here at 54.55. So let's just do rough math, rough estimates. That's about a 70-point trade. Okay. 10 points is $500 on ES if you're trading the regular ES contracts, not the micros. Okay. 70 points right there is $3,500. For a lot of trading accounts, for a lot of the smaller funded accounts, that's enough to pass a funded challenge in one day, right? And it was more so of, let's figure out our entries. What is our strategy for entries? Okay, because as I mentioned, humans, we're going to have that psychology of when to sell and wanting to sell. And naturally, we're pessimistic on winning trades, right? We're always looking for a reason to sell. And we're very hopeful on losing trades, right? Hoping that it will recover. And that's one thing that we all really have to improve on, right? That you need to improve on, I need to improve on. It's something you're going to have to constantly battle and work on. And it's one of the biggest curves really to overcome. Almost every single famous investor or famous trader, they will tell you that, a large portion of their winnings or what really defined their career or what really pushed them to that next limit of wealth was letting their winners win. Okay. Having those really good, successful trades, even if it's just a couple, can really change your life. Your whole entire life, right? Not just a month, not in a week, not a year, but can really make a lifetime difference for you. So that's what I wanted to focus on today, right? So let's kind of recap the things that we talked about. We are using the opening range. We are using the VWAP, okay? The intraday VWAP, the current day VWAP. We're using a weekly VWAP, okay, which is anchored to the beginning of the week. And then we've got the previous day opening range. So nothing complicated. And above, a weekly VWAP, above the prior day range, you're generally looking for long trade ideas. Okay. The buy signal here on this specific strategy using the clouds is once the green clouds flip up above the VWAP, you want to buy, and you essentially want to hold as long as price is closing in those clouds. And we continue to close on those clouds throughout the entire day. It was an amazing day. I barely traded at all. Okay. Via options and in futures. Wasn't really a heavy trading day for me with futures. I tend to make a lot of trades every day, just because, you know, um, price can move so much, right? I mean, with futures, you can really make a lot of money really quick. And so, even if you're just capturing a 5 point move, depending on your contract size and your position size, that can be a really nice gain on futures. So, normally, I do often take a lot of trades, right? Normally, I'm taking 5, 10, 15 trades a day in futures if I'm trading the whole entire day in the whole session and pre-market. But today was just a really good day to step back and really just follow the principles, follow the system. And this is something that I've been preaching about and posting about on my channel for a while now is, using the opening range, combining it with these EMA clouds, with the VWAP, with the weekly anchored VWAP. I really love that anchored VWAP. And it doesn't have to be so complicated, right? Now, not every day is going to be this easy. Not every day is going to be this simple. But this really just goes to show, more so of, figure out how to buy, when to buy, okay, when you want to be making your trades, and then just follow the rules, right? Sometimes you can be a rule-based trader where, hey, my take profit is always going to be 5 points, my stop loss is always going to be 1 point, or my stop loss is always going to be 2 points. It's not bad. That's not a bad system. People do succeed doing things like that. But if there's no true reason to sell, you don't always have to sell, right? You don't always have to force and close a position, especially a really nice winning position that potentially has much, much higher to go. And today was a really great example of that. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. If you do want to sign up for Apex, okay, and get a funded account with them, I do have a link in the description. But as I mentioned, there are many different funded accounts. Okay, you don't have to use mine or use my link just because I'm promoting Apex. So the only one I've ever used. Okay, I know there's a lot of other popular ones. Some may be better, some may be worse. Apex, I've gotten payouts from Apex, so they're reliable and I can depend on them. I have gotten payouts denied for Apex, right? Because I didn't read through the contract and I wasn't, I was, you can't dollar cost average with Apex, right? So you can add to a position one time, but when I first started off with futures, I didn't realize that I was placing, let's say I want to get an order in here at 5,400, right? I would put an order in at 5,450, 5,450, 5,425. I put two orders above and two orders below the actual price that I wanted to get in, because with futures it's so precise. Sometimes you can literally be a quarter of a point off or half a point away from getting your entry. And so I just realized, hey, don't be so picky. Okay, you don't need to place 4 orders to get one fill. And if you don't have the best entry, it's fine as long as your system works, which this system does work really well. I've been using this for about 2-3 years now. And I just wanted to share this one, okay? Make this video with you guys. I'm just a regular person like you guys. Anybody can, learn trading. It's going to take time. It's going to take dedication. And there's going to be really easy days like this where you think you're the best trader ever. You think you're an expert and that, you're going to be making $10,000 every single day now. You just have to, embrace your winners. Okay. Focus on changing your psychology. You want to be optimistic during winning trades, not pessimistic during winning trades. And you want to be pessimistic during losing trades. You don't want to be hopeful during losing trades. Okay. Now that's going to wrap up today's video. There is a link in the description as well if you guys want to join my Discord. In the Discord, I've got tons of different chart layouts. I've got all these different custom scripts and indicators that I've made have become really useful for me and things that I use on a daily basis. You can gain access to all of that stuff and much, much more inside of the Discord by using the link in the description as well. So appreciate y'all watching. As always, This video is not for financial advice, whether legal, tax, or financial advice. This is simply just to be informational, educational, and for entertainment purposes only. Okay. So hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be dropping a lot more futures related content and funded account related content in the future. As I know, a lot of people are really interested in these things. The whole concept of being able to, use capital that's not yours to make money and leverage your gains is really exciting to a lot of people. I passed on it for years. I'm a pretty stubborn person. It took me 2 or 3 years just to get into options because I thought options trading was a scam. I was like, there's no way this guy just made 200% on this trade. Those people are scamming people. So eventually, when somebody I actually knew from real life and, not someone on YouTube or online or some advertisement talking about options was showing me his gains, I said, man, I really got to get into these options. Then I heard about funded accounts years and years ago. But now that, I'm being less stubborn and just giving things a try, I have found out that the funded accounts, they are really nice. They're not the best thing for everyone. But if you're someone who maybe doesn't have a lot of capital and wants to, or maybe you have a lot of capital, but you want to get used to trading futures first, I do think it's a good first step, for trading is using those funded accounts. You just have to be mindful of the rules, whatever, PA or whatever, what do they call them, prop firm that you're using, as they are going to have different rules and requirements. That'll wrap up today's video. Okay. And I'll see y'all on the next one.